Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Team Coco, day 3. Is this day 3 already?
3.
This is 4. Day 3 or 4?
Oh, 3 of...
3 of 4? I don't know. Who knows? Thank you for joining us once again. We're super excited because today we have Scott Aukerman, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That's right. Hollywood royalty is here.
Which one is my camera?
Yeah, right. Will is remembering everything, and he'll relay it to people via the Navajo tradition of illustrated prose. Scott, if you don't know, Comedy Bang Bang, a 2-time Emmy winner, co-creator of Between Two Ferns, and many, many other things.
Video game enthusiast.
Video game enthusiast. I would put that first, actually.
Yeah, really.
I don't know why we buried the lead on that one. Thank you for joining us, and Brooklyn will says if I don't get one Hey Nong Man on this stream.
Hey Nong Man.
There we go.
Right,
there we go.
Stop watching.
Yes, exactly. Now you can turn it off. And today we're going to be playing a couple of games, but I think we're going to play this game neither one of us has played before, Surgeon Simulator. And I think we have to work together. I think we're each going to be one arm.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
Which one do I get to be?
I'm not sure. Well,
Do I
I
get to be the jerk-off arm?
yeah, you'll be just jerking it solid, exactly, and I will be. I think I'm wearing the watch. So,
Okay.
all right. So this is going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Alright.
exactly sure what does what. Okay, I think.
I want to slap him.
Yeah. Hello. Let's make sure he's asleep first before we break him open.
Okay.
Exactly. Hey everybody. Oh yeah, what's up, Germany? How's it going, Ann from Germany?
Hey, Trump 2016.
There we go. Right. So you, a very, very busy guy. We were talking right before we started. You're going to Montreal next week?
Yeah, for the Montreal Just for Laughs festival.
That's awesome.
How do
A
I
Comedy
slap
Bang Bang.
this guy?
Oh, look at this.
Pressing every button.
Try
up
these.
here.
Try these.
There we go.
Also, I think this goes up and down.
Oh, okay, got
So
it.
if you want to touch him, I think you can pull the trigger on the left.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Hey, guy. You having a nice sleep? Wakey, wakey.
Wakey.
All right, let me get into this heart here.
Oh, so Uncle Chad says he's eating lunch. This is the perfect lunch.
Yeah.
I think we gotta crack the ribs. Try grabbing that hammer over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think you grab with these two. Oh, there we go. Oh, you got it. You got it.
Are we in
Also,
space? Why is it floating?
it looks like light gravity. We might be on like a plane, one of those vomit comet. Exactly. Hey, Shady Fridge, what's up? Yes, this is co-op with Coco Gaming. Oh my God, this is just drunk surgeon, I think.
Oh, God.
Let's see.
They have like a
Let me see if I can
twist
grab this
problem.
hammer. I think we dropped the hammer down. Maybe we can use the clock. Let's see if we can use the clock to.
Yep. Use the clock.
Yeah, this is going to be a real short game. This is exactly how I perform surgery, by the way. So exactly.
Maybe the chat can help us. What controls should we use?
Yeah.
Chat?
Yeah. Help us out, chat.
Please assist.
Hey, who's been in heart surgery before? Help us out. This game is the
I
worst.
feel like they shouldn't have put us into this situation in the first place.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about surgery.
Exactly.
We're not experienced at this.
We should have first played the game Medical School.
This is irresponsible gaming.
Yes. This is
A
terrible.
man's life is at stake.
Oh! I found the heart. I found the other heart.
Oh, God, it's in that cooler.
Can you eat the other heart?
I don't need. Yeah, I gain powers.
Hey.
It's like Highlander. Do we get all the powers of the other person? There's a bone saw to the right. I know brain food lunch.
There's
my
a bone
God.
saw to the right.
There's a bone saw to the right. So wait, let's talk about quickly.
Sure.
You're executive producing 2 great shows, Bajillion Dollar Properties,
Yes.
and
which
Take
is out
My
already.
Wife, which is out
Take My Wife is out in a couple of weeks.
in a couple of weeks on CISO.com. And explain if you could explain.
Ooh, you got it.
I got it. Let's cut him up. Oh Jesus!
Oh, jeez.
Oh no! Oh no! His face is bleeding! Oh God! Oh wow! This
Alright,
is.
the wound.
Oh,
Let me try to.
Yeah, get in there. See if you can just stop the bleeding.
There we go.
Well,
There,
that
I
worked.
wiped it off a little bit. How do you pick up something?
I think it's these two. It's like these two together.
These two together.
See, I'm doing this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see if you can try when you get down there.
Okay.
Try these two.
Too many buttons. I missed the day of asteroids when there was just one.
Exactly. So Bajillion Dollar Properties stars
Yeah.
Paul F. Tompkins.
Yeah, Paula
There's-
Tompkins,
oh my
the
God,
great.
amazing. The great Paula Tompkins,
and
the
a
bow
great,
tied.
great cast of people, and season 1 is so funny. It's one of the funniest shows I've been a part of.
And it's one of these. It's like a parody show of like House Hunters and this stuff, or
well,
no?
it's sort of like $1 Million Listing.
$1 Million Listing.
But
got it.
it's really more like Reno 911, but set in real estate. Because Tom Lennon and Ben Grant, they both executive produce it with me.
Oh God, those guys are hilarious.
And they're also in it. And yeah, it's just like, instead of arresting people, they go to houses. Did you get the hammer?
I got the hammer. I'm going in.
Hit him!
I'm trying to. I can't get enough velocity. I think this is very. You're just dancing over there.
I haven't been able to pick up a single thing.
It's more interpretive dance, I think. Is this how you crack a rib?
How is this fun?
This is not fun. This is what we call unfun. And after this
I
guy
guess if
dies,
you could figure it out.
Someone said you guys are just caressing his guts.
yeah.
Just
Hey,
accurate.
We're one
That's
of the.
my
Maybe you
lovemaking
guys
style
are
as well.
like-
That's funny.
Just caressing the guts.
It's a lot of this in
That's an
bed
Urban
with
Dictionary
Scott.
thing
Just
right
like-
Hammer
now.
time. That's right. Solid Build says, "I love this guest. I love Earwolf." That's right.
Oh, thank you.
Your
yeah,
Wolf
the
podcast,
podcasts.
You've got so many projects. That's awesome.
I know. I want to retire.
Yeah. What is something you've gotten to do? You co-wrote the 67th Emmy Awards.
Yeah,
with
and
Andy
the
Samberg.
Oscars.
And the Oscars. My
Yeah.
God. What is that like? What is it like? What is that process
Well,
like?
the Emmys was a little more fun, and I had more to do because Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg's great.
He asked me and Neil Campbell, our head writer on Comedy Bang Bang, to do it, and so we would have had to, and we did, delay the Comedy Bang Bang whole season in order to do it.
Wow, awesome.
So I said, okay, we can do it only if you hire all of our writers, and those are the only writers on the.
That makes sense.
So, and he was, he's a big fan of the show. He loves Comedy Bang Bang. So he said, yeah, done. So
Oh, man.
all of our writers, we just paused in the middle of our season and wrote the Emmys. And it was great because he works super hard. Andy works super hard.
Yeah.
And he, you're cutting him.
I'm
Nice.
just getting in there.
Someone said to get the saw.
I
to
figure-
cut through.
Yeah, we've been trying to get this off.
I figure I can maybe poke.
You guys should just get the saw.
I'm trying to poke through the ribs and
Right.
get you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, Andy works really hard. He was a great host. He was there every single day.
Wow.
Working with us, and
God.
a lot of times if you're doing these things, you don't know what you're going to get because maybe a host will show up, every once in a while,
Right.
or
It doesn't want to rehearse or
Yeah, Andy was there all the
Like
time.
Conan.
He really wanted to make it really great.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I thought he was awesome at it. He was such a good host. A lot of people, we kind of expected the reviews to be like, they always are just mixed of this is funny, this wasn't funny.
Yeah.
But across the board, the reviews were all saying he was one of the best hosts in recent memory.
Oh my
so
God,
It was
awesome.
really, really fun. The Oscars was slightly different because I was actually taping the Comedy Bang Bang season and
Oh, jeez.
was only there part-time. But it was cool working with Chris Rock. I'd never met him before.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, what
Yeah.
a pro. My God.
Yeah, he was great.
And so how does it, who's the arbiter of taste? Is there then an Emmy panel or an Oscars panel, or is it just the host?
It's the host.
Wow, really? That's
And
crazy.
as a matter of fact, the Emmys nor the Oscars don't really have much of a say in what happens on the show as far as the
Wow.
host material is concerned. When they hire someone, they hire them to do the show. And
Yeah.
so, Andy pretty much got to do exactly what he wanted the entire time. So.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a lot of trust. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great situation to be in because unlike other jobs, you don't feel like you're being sort of watched over the entire time. You're just
Right.
kinda,
By the Council of Elders,
Yeah,
with their
exactly.
hooded.
Oh, we
hooded
had a
robes.
Council of
Oh,
Elders.
sure. You prayed to the nine-eyed God.
Yeah, Andy is a Time Lord.
Okay, that's a great. That makes sense. That's
Um,
crazy. And then what's the writing process for Comedy Bang Bang?
Well, we have a really tight group of people, and, most of them have been working on the show since the very beginning, or at least a lot of them have been doing the last 60 episodes. So, there we go. I knocked it off.
Nice. Well done.
We basically try to, I think I cut myself.
Yeah.
I cut him. Okay.
Perfect.
Good. We basically try to write the storylines first, and
Okay.
then we try to write the sort of Act 2 videos, which are the movie parodies and stuff like that, second. And then at the very last minute, people guest on the show. They usually we can't book them until a week out or something.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Working on Conan.
Yeah,
I'm
oh
sure
my God,
you know
I know.
how
Sometimes
crazy
it's
it can
like
be.
day of. Yeah, it's like
exactly.
ridiculous.
So we usually don't even write for them until, like maybe a week out at the most.
Oh my God.
And then we prepare ourselves for them to cancel once they read the material.
Right, exactly.
Which has happened so many times.
Sure. Same thing with our show, yeah.
Macklemore, twice, including morning of.
Oh my God, that's awful. And this is you're halfway through season 5.
Yep. Just
and
had our 100th episode.
That's crazy. Congratulations. And what are some of your favorite moments? I mean, I know it's kind of like picking between children, but every parent has their favorite child. So
I think my favorite episodes over the years. Well, one of my favorite moments definitely was having Pee Wee Herman on the show.
Oh yeah.
He stabbed him in the head.
Whoops. I was hoping nobody saw that. I am just a Freddy Krueger here.
Pee Wee Herman, was a big influence on the show, and
Absolutely.
then he agreed to be on it, and he wrote all new Pee Wee bits for it, sort of like the bits that he used to do on Letterman back in the early 80s.
Oh my gosh.
Do I have it now?
I don't know.
No, I'm still slapping away.
You just work on the slapping.
I've yet to figure out how to pick up one thing. That's going to be That's going to be what I'm going to be in charge of now. Trying to pick up one thing.
And what did you learn from working with Paul?
He was great. He was, he was so professional, and he was really, at one point we were talking about a sketch he wanted to do where a snake was going to jump out of a box and bite him. No, me.
Okay.
Who did it bite? It bit me.
Okay.
And
still slapping away, Scott.
Yeah.
2K16.
Hey, that's also my lovemaking stuff.
There's a safe word involved.
And he, we were trying to figure out how to shoot it because it was like him holding a box that he pulled out, and then it was supposed to open, and a snake was supposed to jump out and bite me. Mm-hmm. And we were trying to come up with all these solutions, when we read it about like CGIing the snake and how we were going to do it. And he said, "Oh no!" And then he drew us a picture of basically a box with a hole in the back and a snake on a stick that could jump out and just do that. It was the most lo-fi, interesting, easy solution, and we thought that can't be that simple.
Yeah, it's never gonna work. Yeah.
And we got on set and we did it, and it looks amazing. It looks like scarier than if you were to CGI something.
That's
certainly.
insane.
And he just has that kind of mind where he knows like old joke store tricks. And,
vaudeville.
He has that kind of interesting mind, and a lot of his comedy is based on that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
So it was really cool. Where at one point he was talking to me because there's a lot of downtime when we're working on the show, in between takes, and he was talking to me and he said, "Have you been to the Walgreens on Sunset and Vine?" Which had just opened up at the time. And I was like, "No." He goes, "It's really amazing. There's sushi there and so much." He goes, "You know what? I'm just going to make an announcement." And he stood up to the crew and he goes, "Excuse me, I have an important announcement to make." And then he told everyone about the Walgreens and how great it was on the corner of Vine and Sunset, which made me go check it out.
And how does it live up to the hype?
They have real sushi chefs making
That's
sushi.
crazy. Only in LA.
But yeah, it was so much fun. He was dressed as a cowboy. And he got to like walk off into the sunset, and it was just really like a dream come true. That was one of my favorite days ever.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I say we quit this game because
Yeah.
this is awful.
Yeah, it's all right.
Great. Let's play a little game called Rocket League.
Rocket League.
This is, if you've ever heard of a game called soccer or football in the European.
Oh, football. Yes.
Football, yes,
Okay.
football. This is that, but with cars. So we're each gonna be a car.
Oh, really?
We're gonna
hitting a ball?
hitting a ball.
Oh, this
That's
sounds
right.
fun.
And this
Okay.
will be future blood sport, I'm sure, in about 5 or 6 years once Trump is president.
Okay. Yes, of course.
For life. Speaking of amazing experiences, you did Between Two Ferns with Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, yes.
Which was incredible, and which you won an Emmy for. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
That's
Yeah.
unbelievable. And what was the deal? I mean, there's so much. He's the president.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a lot going on
that's
there.
That's the main thing we know
That's the
about
main thing we know about Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right, let's play. We're gonna find a match here.
Oh yeah, should people join you?
Oh yeah, people should join us. We're gonna do.
Coco Coco.
Yeah, it's Coco Coco. So if you want to play with Scott Aukerman,
Uh-huh.
that's right, the guy who just told the amazing Pee Wee Herman story that you're all changing your pants because you ruined them. Join us. It's Coco and Coco. And we'll play in Utopia Coliseum. I know nothing about any of this.
Of course,
So
why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't we? And what
Yeah.
was that? So we spoke a little bit about this when you came before and talked to the Team Coco podcast. But what was one thing that kind of surprised you with working with the president and his team and all that stuff?
I was surprised just how relaxed he was and how he was sort of improvising around. He was a lot like a real comedian who, when a comedian gets material, they sort of like to go off script or make it sound like themselves. He wasn't, reading the jokes off a teleprompter just very dryly. He was really making it come to life. So I didn't expect that. I kind of expected him just to read the stuff and we would get the footage.
And kind of made it his own.
Yeah, he was playing around with it. He was like sort of insulting Zach off script, and it was really cool.
Are there any jokes that he kind of wanted to do that you were like, because that seems tough.
I think we used anything that he did.
That's
actually.
great.
Yeah,
That's great.
It wasn't like we were like, hey, Barack, leave this to the comedians.
Chill out.
Yeah, no, it was a cool experience. I mean, it definitely was. It was strange because I almost was disassociated from my body in a way of like,
I'm sure.
I had to get the work done, and so I didn't allow myself to be nervous really.
Yeah.
So at one point I was told he would only do it once and then he was going to walk out of the room.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
good Lord,
watching it the first take going, oh man, I wish we could do another take. This not he wasn't bad at it, but Zach was kind of a little rusty and nervous.
Yeah, and you always want a safety take. You always want another option.
Sure, you always want something. So
here, so let's join a team here. You want to join orange or blue? Either go up or down.
Yeah. What do I do?
Yeah, so just go up and then hit X. There
Great.
You go.
All right.
And then this is gas.
Okay, of course it is.
And then you just
and
drive
I just
around.
flipped over somehow.
Perfect. That's all it is. And just go for the ball. That's all it is.
Okay.
Perfect. Toast school. So you're watching the first take.
So I'm watching the first take and I'm like, oh boy, and I've been told expressly like, don't ask him for another take. He's just gonna walk out.
Amazing.
And so, and I've been told he won't talk to me directly necessarily.
Wow. Man.
That he'll kind of talk to his advisors about how it went. So I'm sort of prepared for it to be like, oh well, we'll get what we can get.
Sure.
And
you've resigned yourself to.
Yeah.
We're here. Yeah.
This is going to be his process.
Yes.
And after the first take, he turns right to me, looks at me, and goes, "Well, how'd we do?" And
oh my God.
And I've been told not to ask him for another take, and I say, "Well, to be honest, Mr. President, I loved it halfway through. I thought you guys really fell into a rhythm, and I would love to be told, or I would love to do another take of the first stuff, but I've been told you don't have any time." And he says,
very diplomatic,
"Let's do it again."
Whoa! Awesome.
And so we got another take, and that's the take we ended up using.
Oh, see, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah, it was, and almost instinctively, he, at the point where it got good, the previous take, he turned to me and said, "That's where it was, right?"
Wow,
yeah,
man.
so it was.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. But I was so surprised that after being counseled by everyone to not talk to him in that way, that I had the guts to actually do it. I was so glad I did.
That's awesome. And that's really, I mean, weirdly, like being in show business and being around all these celebrities and things, that's kind of like almost where that instinct takes over, I think.
Right, where you're just like, it's about the work, I can't,
Yeah.
I think I was more nervous with Pee Wee Herman. Honestly, I was.
No, that makes sense.
The first time I met Paul Rubens and I interviewed him at South by Southwest, I think if you listen to that episode, you can hear like my nerves sort of quaking a little bit. I think I also was like more nervous meeting you two in a way.
Yeah, oh sure.
Honestly, because I was told like about you two as well. I was told don't joke around with them.
Really?
They want it to be a serious interview or they won't get the jokes or something. And then immediately Bono started joking around.
Right, yeah.
And I was like very confused, like what is going on? But I was told do not joke around with them. So it took about halfway before I was like, these guys want to joke around. They're just going to joke. So I was like way more nervous to talk to them than the president, I think.
That's great. I feel like a lot of times with big celebrities or big important figures, there are people who kind of say that just to set expectations.
Yeah, I think that's sort of, as I found in this job, the publicist's job to be like protective of their clients.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is, most people don't need it. I have found a couple of people who need it, but like I don't, my publicists know that I don't care what happens in any situation.
Exactly.
You know,
I don't even leave with my life sometimes.
yeah,
They'll,
but I think, and
drain
that's the part about doing Between Two Ferns. It's cool is we don't allow publicists in there, and we
Oh, wow.
we just we only want the person in the room, and that's it.
Right.
And if people are willing to drop their guard and just have a fun time, then it ends up being a really cool video. Like Brad Pitt, for instance.
Man, so great.
Just let us ask anything we wanted, and
and he was so funny.
Yeah, and it turned out really great. The ones that get weird are when they say, "Oh, we want Final Cut,"
Right. When they don't trust the process.
Yeah, or they watch a video and go, "Well, I want to be more funny," or or I want to recut this when I get back from Haiti.
Yeah, you're just like. No, I'm sorry, Smash Mouth. You don't get to recut it. What happened happened. But yeah, and that was it's interesting because like Conan, when he went and did SNL, he kind of said the same thing. Like he didn't bring any of his writers. He just went and used their
just
writers.
did it. Well, he's one of the greatest writers on SNL ever. So I mean, I can imagine he doesn't need a lot of help. He has great writers here with him as well. But I mean that's what you're told when you do SNL. Apparently, is like just go over, surrender yourself to the process. We'll make you funny, and that's what at Comedy Bang Bang. That's one thing that I would say 100% of the guests have done for us that actually show up.
Yeah,
they're the ones who just say, "I'll do anything that you want me to do," and no one has ever asked to see the show after we've done it before we put it out. It's just it's you get to see celebrities in a really interesting light in a way that you'll never see them ever anyplace else.
Absolutely, and plus now 5th season, you guys have created such an amazing body of work that who would think that I could do better?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. Like,
I know you better.
You'll be sitting there with someone, and I never know if anyone has seen the show or knows what they're in for before they sit down. So
but, I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, but it is an extremely famous show.
Well, you have to assume like someone has showed them an episode or something.
Yes.
But the process of making it is so kind of crazy, and we just like make people dive right in. We start everyone off with this improv interview where they don't know the questions, and like we had Allison Janney. She's coming up in the back 10 of this season, and she after like 10 minutes she was laughing her head off and going, "I feel like I'm high right now. What is happening?" Because it's just such a crazy experience, and like Weird Al and I are both improvising with her, and just it's such a strange experience. That's unlike anything you do in show business.
Absolutely, and we just had Weird Al here last night. He's
great,
amazing,
yeah.
and he just
What
took
song
over.
did he do, by the way?
He did Aluminum Foil.
Aluminum Foil, great, yeah.
Yeah, he's band leader now.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. And how is it working and collaborating with Weird Al?
It's awesome. I mean, I was really obsessed with him since the early Dr. Demento shows on KMAT in Los Angeles, and heard him ever since Another One Rides the Bus and the original version of Yoda. And,
totally.
And I used to collect not just his LPs, but his singles.
Wow.
Even though they didn't have like unique B-sides, just because the artwork on them
incredible.
was unique. So, then I got to know him a little bit and became friendly with him, but never really expected we would work together in that kind of capacity. And when Kid Cudi decided he wasn't going to come back for the next season, I just kind of sent him an email like, "I know you don't have time to do this, but do you want to have fun on the 5th season?" And he wrote back immediately saying, "This is my favorite show. I really want to do it."
Wow. Oh my! Because it's such an amazing fit.
Yeah, it really is. And I think you get to see. I saw Al last night here in San Diego performing in concert, and you get to see him in a different light almost. You get to see him. I mean, his albums, I think, are different than Comedy Bang Bang and doing sketch comedy, you know. And I don't know. He's usually been in charge of all of his sketch comedy, Al TV and the Weird Al Show. So he really gave himself over to the process and just let us write anything for him.
That's amazing.
And so you get to see him in a different light, I kind of feel like. And you get to see him being funny in another way than he usually gets to be funny, which I think is really cool.
Absolutely, and for him too, because I'm sure. Oh man, did we get kicked out of our own game?
Wait.
You know what?
Too many friends.
Try to join Blue.
Join Blue.
Yeah, do it. See what happens. Yeah,
okay.
Perfect.
Here we go. I flipped again.
Oh no, wait, no.
You got to join Blue. So Orange won that time.
Yeah.
I don't quite know what I'm doing. I'm trying to hit the ball.
No, yeah, you're doing well. And that's amazing, and it's got to be great for him too to be able to grow. He's done so much and had such an amazing career, but to be able to now grow and find a new way.
Yeah, I feel
really
like he's
fun.
at a point in his career. He's out of his record contract, and this is not me with any insider knowledge.
Yes.
This is literally just me on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
I feel like he's probably at a point in his career where it's like, I have nothing more to prove. I have a #1 album.
Yeah.
I'm doing really well.
I'm an icon.
And
Yeah.
and what if I were to do something kind of cool that I've never done before? And
Totally.
he hasn't done a TV show since I believe the 90s
Oh,
with the Weird Al show, and it's just, and especially something that someone else is writing and in charge of.
Oh
and,
my God. I know.
And so it's just been really, really cool. And some days I was just sitting there kind of going, if I could talk to the 15-year-old me and tell him everything's going to be okay, and I was going to be able to have sex on the regs with a beautiful woman, I would have cared more about the sex than about working with Weird Al, honestly. And if I could have talked to Weird Al and told him that I was going to be having sex as a 15-year-old kid, I would have been arrested.
Yeah. Your wife actually created
Bajillion Dollar Properties. Yeah. She's
fantastic.
great. She's the showrunner of it and creator.
Yeah.
And, it's been awesome. I mean, it was her first show, and
Awesome.
you just never know how someone's going to do. The first time in doing a show, and the show's so funny, so it's really,
great.
really great.
Yeah. Yeah, and so now with this live tour, you toured all around the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to Montreal. You're going to Australia. What can people expect when they come to see a live show?
Yeah, we just did the North American tour. We have a day tonight in San Diego, and then Montreal next week, and then we're doing Australia, and maybe hopefully somewhere else out of the country before the end of the year. But
Wow, that's amazing.
It's been cool because you sort of say, like, I'm going to see a live podcast. Is that really a thing that people want to come to?
Yeah.
And the first couple of years, when I did the tour, I sort of was like, well, I got to make it worth the money. So I would do like a half hour of prepared material before.
Okay.
And then I quickly found out that people didn't care about that really. They wanted to see the podcast. Like they're paying to see the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And anything that delays them from watching the podcast, they don't want to see. So it's
actually where you were angering the crowd before.
Yeah, exactly.
And
they were ready to kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean it's been really interesting. They just want to see the podcast, and so that's what we do. I mean, for the North American tour, it was Paul F. Tompkins and Lauren Lapkus, and then we would have special guests and openers. And we're all doing Australia, and they're doing Montreal tonight. We have Lauren and a few other special guests.
Awesome.
Paul won't be there though.
Awesome.
And it's crazy that we're able to sell out 2,000 seat theaters with people just watching us improvise a podcast, but it's really a testament to the power of like how popular stuff on the internet is.
Oh my God! Well, I mean, the podcast itself gets like 2 million downloads an episode,
Right.
And it's one of them.
Not really.
2 billion. Sorry,
2 million a month
2
for every
bajillion,
episode.
2
No.
bajillion.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what it is. But and also, it's like one of the top 10 comedy podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, some would say it's more popular than the TV show, which is like crazy. So
I know that's
but I mean,
insane.
that's like this thing is super popular, right? And,
What? Yeah, I mean, video
so
games are crazy popular too.
Yeah, and so it's like these new ways of people getting to know you. I think that TV necessarily hasn't caught up with.
That's true. That's true.
And
kind of can't deliver on. I mean, that's the
Yeah,
other thing.
exactly,
Too.
yeah.
There's an intimacy to a podcast that TV will kind of never be able to.
Yeah, but that's what's interesting about the live show is people are going to see something that has never been done before, and that we will never do again, and that no one else will ever get to see.
Yeah.
And being able to see. Oh, I hit the ball.
Ah, yes! First touch.
Being able to actually see how we do it is so much fun for people. And, I mean, the shows are wildly uneven, I would say. like any
that's
improv
half the
is.
fun, though. Yeah, that's
but
half
yeah,
the
exactly.
fun.
You're going to get to see something that no one else will ever get to see. So.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
If you guys are just joining us, we're here with Comedy Bang Bang Scott Aukerman, and get your questions. And somebody actually asked, how you are incredibly busy. How do you balance
Work and family. That's a joke from my show.
Yes.
It literally is the toughest thing about show business. So I see why it's asked
There
all
we
the
go.
time.
Oh, somebody saw you in Terrytown, New York.
Oh, awesome.
There we go.
That was a good
Awesome.
show with Brian Stack, who
There we-
used to work here
Oh
on the
my
show.
God, amazing. Yeah, now writes for the great Colbert.
He played Michael Caine and Sean Connery.
Perfect.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a fun show. That was the beginning of our out-of-town shows.
That's awesome.
That was really fun.
Are there any guests that you? I mean, I couldn't imagine, but you would like to have?
I mean, I'd love to have Conan. He's turned us down every single season.
Oh, come on, get him on there.
Who else? Andy Richter's been on.
There we
so-
go. Oh yeah, Andy. Of course.
But David Letterman, I think, is a big influence on the show.
Yeah.
I know he'll never do it, but it would be great to get him on Bang Bang or at least Ferns or something.
Absolutely, yeah. He would be hilarious on Ferns.
The greats, Bill Murray or.
Of course.
We've had so many great people on though. It's kind of like it's
It's hard
to.
after the president.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I was sort of trying to. I sort of collect on Comedy Bang Bang. I would sort of collect I got 3 out of the 5 kids in the hall. And so I was sort of like chasing the final 2, or I finally got all the UCB4, So it was sort of like that, me almost like a collector trying to collect them all.
Somebody actually asked, how do you know when to? This is maybe a little making the sausage, but how do you know when to drop a joke in the writers' room? Is it just kind of a collective feeling, like?
It's really. I mean, those guys are so talented. I'm sort of the last line of defense.
Okay.
I'm like the first person to come in and we talk about where an episode can go.
Yes.
Generally, and then we'll talk okay, it could probably go like this, this, and this, and I'll say write up an outline.
Okay.
And then it's pretty much those guys are so talented that it gets to me and it's really great, and then it's just kind of me going like, I don't like it going this way, let's take it this way, or I don't like this joke. So it's pretty much my call of if a joke stays in or not.
Interesting. You're the one to blame.
I rewrite it I'm the last person to rewrite everything. But most of the time I don't have to do much.
Yeah, and it's your voice. So here, do you want to join? Oh man, we're kicked out of our own game.
I'm
This
in.
happened before. Are you in? Oh, I'm spectating.
Spectate.
Oh wait, maybe I can get in. Hold on, let's see if I can.
Okay, did I get a boost here? No.
Oh.
Why is everyone able to
There
reach
we
the
go.
ball
I'm on
before
ours.
me?
You know what? I am terrible at this game. I just basically just drive around.
Oh, okay. There's a
enjoy my
okay.
car.
There's some rockets on the back.
Oh yeah, you can. If you hit
Okay.
the circle, you can do the rock. And there's also,
Got
I think,
it.
you can jump by hitting X. But
Oh really?
that's right.
Bruno's
Somebody
11.
loved. Oh yeah, you wrote a couple comics. Loved that issue of Spider-Man versus Deadpool. You wrote.
Oh yeah, that just came out a
That's
couple of
fun.
weeks ago. People here at Comic-Con can get it still.
That's
or
awesome.
Anyone can get it still, I bet.
What was it? Was that your first comic book you've written?
It was not. I did an issue of Deadpool, or I did 5 pages in an issue of Deadpool that Brian Posehn and Jerry Duggan wrote.
That's Brian Posehn.
And then I did a 10-page story in Secret Wars journal.
And what's it like writing? Because that is such a different format than writing for TV or movies or anything else. Because
Well, you got to do it panel by panel.
right.
You know what I mean? Like you have to say, panel 1, this person does this.
Because you're also kind of the director.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
a lot. It's a lot like that. It's a lot like directing a film before you have the actors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
it's a little
tough.
like telling the actors. It's like being David Fincher in a way.
Sure.
Like you're gonna do this exactly the way I want you to do it, and if you don't, you're gonna have to redraw it and do it again. But this time the Spider-Man Deadpool was actually more interesting, or not more interesting, but interesting in a different way. Because I got to do it sort of what they call the old Marvel style. I don't know if you know anything about comics. But,
I do, but not about the old Marvel stuff.
Okay, so nowadays when you write a comic, you write a script and you do it panel by panel, and you explain every single thing that's happening in each.
The
panel.
Alan Moore method, where it's like you're telling about the history of the shoe.
Yeah, exactly.
all these things.
And everything that the artist should find important to draw, right?
Okay. Yeah.
The old Marvel method was you would write kind of a page-by-page outline and say what happens on each page generally,
Oh.
let the artist draw it,
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
then go back and script it afterwards and put dialogue in. So we were shooting the last 10 episodes, and they asked me to do it, and they needed it really, really quick
Oh, wow.
because it was a fill-in issue. And I said, I'd love to do it, but I don't really have time to do it the way we normally do. Can I do it the old Marvel method?
Yeah.
And they said yes, and this artist, Riley Brown, took my, pretty bare bones outline with, a lot of the jokes were in it, but...
You were just like, Spider-Man speak.
Well, there was even one page where I was like, I honestly don't know what to do with this page.
Wow,
it's have them fight. I don't really know. And he took it away, and like the art is beautiful, and that page he came up with a great solution for what I needed to do.
Oh,
and
that's fantastic.
And then basically, because it came in kind of so late, I was in Hawaii actually having to actually script it on vacation. It was supposed to come before I left for vacation, but so I was in Hawaii actually like writing jokes and going, oh wow, this didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to turn out. What joke can I put on the page for this? So it was a really interesting challenge. I mean, in that way, it was way more collaborative than, which is sort of how we do Comedy Bang Bang and everything, which is, I liked it maybe a lot more. But you have less control over the process and like what story you want to tell in that way. But it's cool. I mean, I got to write Spider-Man in all 3 stories that I wrote, which is my favorite.
That's amazing.
So,
Wow.
I got to say Spider-Man. He swings through the Comedy Bang Bang set where Al and I are there, and Spider-Man says that Comedy Bang Bang is canonically his favorite television show.
Yes,
which they cannot change in the Marvel universe anymore.
Nice. I love like just trying to. Who gets the? There must have been. Then you turned into an editor who then must have said.
Yeah, and they were all cool. They're fans of Comedy Bang Bang, which is why they wanted me to do it.
Of course, I'm sure.
The only things I had to change were like annoying legal.
Take out
things.
all the swears.
No, it wasn't even that. It was more
epithets.
because it was set in. It was basically set. The story is Deadpool finds out they're making a movie about his life, so he goes to Hollywood and he needs Spider-Man to come with him because Spider-Man has so many movies about him already. He needs him to sort of guide him through the business.
That makes sense.
So because there were it was satirical of Hollywood. There were so many. You have like
licensing issues and those
you
kinds
have
of things.
Ryan Reynolds, and I was trying to put the Fantastic Four into the issue and have them kicked out of Hollywood, and I was told I couldn't do that, and like a bunch of like legal things that were we had to put a mustache on the Ryan Reynolds character to make it not look like him, and
that's
so
hilarious.
Some annoying stuff, but I mean joke wise they were really supportive of everything that I wanted to do.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah,
wow.
there's a really good comic book writer, Dave Justice, who read it and said it was a wonderful tribute to myself, because there's so many in jokes.
There's nothing better.
It's cool.
Somebody asked if Weird Al Yankovic was a pie, what kind of pie would he be?
I mean, he would probably say, "Why do I have to be a pie? I'll be a tie," which is a parody of a pie.
There we go.
I don't know. Is that like an in joke for Weird Al that I should know?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just the internet asking about pies.
Yeah,
I love a good strawberry rhubarb. That's my favorite.
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
Mincemeat is always overlooked.
I mean, he's got so much hair.
Yeah.
I would think it would be a hair pie.
Yes!
Wow,
Which is
I don't
something he wouldn't want me to say.
Somebody said apple pie.
Apple
all
pie,
right,
I like
all
that,
right.
yeah.
Yes, good answers. Scott, favorite sketch of all time?
Of any sketch?
Let's say not something you've written or been a part of.
I got in. I really wanted to start doing comedy. I grew a love for comedy with Monty Python and SNL and stuff like that. But I really started doing comedy because of Mr. Show.
Yeah.
So, and this live show I saw them do before the show came out. I would have to say, one of those shows, maybe Lie Detector is one of my favorites, or maybe The Audition from Mr. Show. Those are 2 really good sketches. I think those are very meaningful to me, those sketches.
And how great was it to be able to work on and be in their new...
I won!
Yeah. Well done!
Blue.
Well done! Kick my ass. To be able to work on their new show. And was that kind of interesting and a little bit poignant because you kind of started and then how far you've come in those 2.
Bob and David put it out there to the old writers and said, "Hey, how many of you want to show up for this?" And I know that speaking for myself and also maybe Paul F. Tompkins, we immediately said, yes, we'll do anything you want.
Yeah.
And that first meeting, it was Paul and Jay Johnson and Brian Posehn.
Wow, man.
And, Bill Odenkirk, who's one of the unsung heroes, I think, of the show. And Dino wasn't there at the first meeting. And I'm forgetting, Eric Hoffman. And it was just like, was like getting the old gang back together.
Yeah.
For better and for worse.
Blue. Here, hit, no. Oh, you're going to spectate. Here, you want to play? Here, you play orange. You play
okay.
orange.
No,
Oh,
gosh.
I hate orange.
But yeah, for better or for worse, it was a lot. That first day was like, oh my God, I forgot how fun this is.
Yeah.
And by the end, it was like, oh my God, I forgot how stressful this is and how much I hate everyone.
How many years this has taken off my life?
But it was cool. I was in the middle of Comedy Bang Bang, and I was in the middle of the 4th season. We were in between episodes 30 and 40.
Oh my God.
And so I delayed it. I delayed the season by about like 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
In order to be there for the shooting, and it was really interesting because it was just like being there again. Those guys are some of the funniest sketch performers I've ever seen, and I started having like stress nightmares about them again.
Whoa! Wow!
And
so everything old is new again, kind of.
I'd been my own boss for so long that I'd forgotten about like sort of answering to someone and them specifically, where I would have dreams where I was like arguing with Bob, even though I was not arguing with him on the show.
That's crazy.
I would have dreams about arguing with him, and I was like, oh, I forgot just like how stressful this situation is. But it was interesting. I mean, I think those guys, they hadn't done sketch comedy in 10 years or so. And I mean, Bob had done Birthday Boys, certainly.
Right. Yes.
But I think it was interesting to sort of like see them get back into the groove, and I hope that they do another season, because I think 4 was too few.
Yeah, absolutely.
They say they want to do another season, so I hope they will. And just see them get better and better with it. I think, they sort of ended, by the end of the process, they were like kind of at the level that they were again of where they were at season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to see them sort of like get back to, the groove that they were in.
Yeah, they kind of returned to form.
Yeah, but Bob's like such an amazing dramatic actor now.
I know. What a crazy turn, right?
Yeah.
And he's Better Call Saul is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good.
It's crazy to see him. There was one sketch that he was doing. For some reason, he was eating ribs in it the entire time. He thought it would be funny if he was in charge of a dry cleaners and he was eating ribs. And just watching him, like his space work with these ribs and his work with these props over the course of like 3 takes, he's doing all these really funny things with these ribs. And I was just like, this is why he needs to be doing sketch comedy.
Yes,
he can just take, a stack of ribs and be really funny around all the funny lines.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he's so gifted. So.
He did that liquefied peas thing for the show
yeah.
that was so amazing.
Oh, what was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did like a fake commercial for Giebel's wet pea.
For Giebel's wet peas or
like-
something. It was
Oh,
just
wow.
like
Something, I don't know.
it was just
It was
hilarious.
amazing. And then we had like a separate thing of outtakes, because the whole thing was like outtakes, but then we're like, there were so many that we had to make like outtakes of the outtakes.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was like so good.
There's so many pieces of the animal.
Yeah, I mean,
Post it in the chat.
he's been so supportive of me over the years. I mean, I don't know that a lot of people know, but when I first started doing comedy, he would come to see all of my shows and to help us out. No one knew who me and my partner were. To help us out, he would like jump up on stage before the show
my
and say,
God.
"Can I introduce you guys?" And like
That's incredible.
introduce us and do a little time to warm people up. And anytime we asked him, hey, can you film a thing for our show, he would say, come by the office, and he
Oh
would
my
film
God,
it. And
that's
so he
awesome.
really, mentored us and then gave me my big break doing Mr. Show. So
Yeah.
it's like, I really would have done anything for those guys.
That's amazing.
And so I was really happy that I got to be a part of that show, as stressful as it was, just to like sort of celebrate the achievement of those guys, doing one of the best comedy shows of all time.
Oh,
in my
and
opinion.
yeah, one of the most influential for sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I remember he was one of my earliest memories watching stand-up. he did this amazing act which kind of it was this great act where he would he starts off by saying, when I get nervous, I chew gum to help me.
Bazooka Joe.
Yeah, Bazooka Joe.
Yeah, this is
and,
great.
And it's amazing. And as he goes on, between each joke, he keeps putting gum in his mouth, and you realize
he's reading Bazooka Joe jokes.
Bazooka Joe jokes
off of the rappers.
And it just devolves this, and then my friend Drew, and he's got like 50 pieces of gum.
Mouthful of gum.
And it's one of those things where that was kind of the first time I realized, wow, doing stand-up doesn't really need to be...
It doesn't have to be observational. It doesn't have to be just telling strict jokes. Yeah,
and it was so smart and so and so offbeat and just
he's really a prodigy in that way. I mean,
Absolutely.
if you read about him in the early days and, at Chicago and creating the Chris Farley's Matt Foley motivational speaker character, I think like that he created that for himself. And he was kind of like, I think Chris will be funnier doing this. Just like Bob's an amazing performer, and then for him to go, there's someone even better than me, and giving it to him,
To be gracious is just, and to be at that level and be gracious.
So he's really like this amazing prodigy, and you forget how young he was when he started doing all this stuff.
Oh my God.
Because I was because he has so many like sort of old man characters. Like I always viewed him as like a 40-year-old guy, even when I got to know him. He's not that much older than me.
Yeah, exactly. That is unbelievable. I know. And now it must be kind of cool for you to turn around and be able to influence a younger generation with Comedy Bang Bang. I mean, it's taken, you've been inspired obviously by Pee-wee and Mr. Show and all these things, but you've really made your own brand of humor that are inspiring other people.
I mean, I hope enough people will have watched it at some point that it'll inspire people. I mean, the one thing I do really enjoy about the show is I get to, I have sort of carte blanche when it comes to casting.
Yeah.
And so not only do I, like I said, get to have all of these people who have influenced me on the show, but I get to give a lot of young comedians, it's sort of like their first job, maybe their first speaking role on camera,
That's insane.
And so, we basically, anytime anyone has a line on the show, we cast really talented people who are maybe the future stars of comedy, and kind of give them a little money to keep their, to keep them not having to work for another month,
right.
But also just like give them a little experience and show them what it's like to work on camera. And a lot of times I will have people from like the UCB who have never acted on camera before. They're really great on stage, and you can tell they're nervous, and sometimes it's really cute. Sometimes they like mess up their lines at the very beginning, and they're so nervous that they can't talk almost. And
just throwing up, just constantly blood out of their ears.
And so a lot of my job is to kind of take pressure off of them and go, look, I know why you were cast. You're cast because you're really funny, and it's hard to do a one-line part or whatever. But like this is a low-pressure situation. Let's all just have fun and
safe space.
Because a lot of times when I was like doing some of my first jobs, there's no one there that you feel like you're with a bunch of strangers. There's a director who is like needing you to rush through everything, and you just feel like I'm messing this up.
And it's a very and everyone is kind of doing their jobs and worrying about their own thing, and no one's really there for you.
And no one's even there giving you feedback sometimes unless you're doing something wrong.
Right, yes.
And
it's only the switch. Never
so it can get very much like, oh no, this is a stressful situation. So I just try to make it cool of like, hey, let's all have fun and you be funny in your own way, and so that's been really cool, and I've seen people that over the 5 seasons, I've seen people that we have given tiny parts to kind of rise up in the ranks of comedy and become like big players, and it's been
amazing.
It's really cool. I hope that people will be influenced by it down the road.
I think they're being influenced by it now for sure. I mean, and that's the crazy thing too, is like, especially like with the internet and all these things. I mean, your reach with like podcast and all these other things you're doing like on CISO and all this stuff is really, and now that people are starting to take TV and it's kind of going by the wayside, and now the internet is rising, and so people can pass that stuff around, and it's interesting because there's so many projects out there that I think people kind of pick a few things and then go very deep
and then they love it. It's very like niche programming now, which is cool. I mean, it's you can now just kind of go to those people who are going to love stuff, and the people who watch Comedy Bang Bang love it, and it is their favorite show. And
they'll preach. They'll preach about it and tell more people about it.
And then then there's like, the other 99% of the population has never heard of it or hates it with a passion. So, but it's you're working for those people, and so that's why, we don't get a lot of notes. Right. We don't change jokes to make them like more universal. I've had TV jobs where, like, you'll mention a band. I remember one job I had where in a sketch a character mentioned a band, and it was a more obscure band, and the network came up and said, "Can you change this to Green Day?"
Oh God!
And it would have ruined the joke, and then we had to explain the joke to them.
Oh, that's the worst.
And with Comedy Bang Bang, it's like you're playing to the margins. You're playing, to the niche audience.
You're playing to the people who love you.
Yeah, so, we're able to have, like, Andy Samberg, I think, had a Moxie Fruvis reference in a recent episode.
Oh, my God.
And even he was like, who is Moxie Fruvis?
Yeah, I don't know. Who is Moxie Fruvis?
So we looked him up, and it was, like, one of the writers that meant something to them.
Wow, that's insane.
And when I read something like that, I don't go, oh, we gotta, make this more universal, and no one's gonna get this joke. I read it, and I go, oh, this is hilarious because this has specificity, which I think comedy has to have. So
yeah, the best comedy is
specific.
Unique.
And when I used to watch SCTV or what have you, I was never like, I don't understand this Sam Peckinpah reference because I'm a 13-year-old and I've never seen his movies.
Yes, thank God.
I just was like, oh, Sam Peckinpah must be a thing that I should check out.
Right, exactly. You're like, Straw Dogs?
Yeah, so I'll check out Straw Dogs when I get older. But
all
all I know
now is 13.
Yeah, but all I know now is it's really funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, I mean, that's kind of the good thing about doing stuff for CISO or IFC is they don't have to have these giant audiences anymore in order to make their money back.
Totally.
They can appeal to these tinier audiences who are going to be really passionate about the product.
And how did your relationship with CISO come about? How did it all start? Did you have shows that you wanted to pitch them? Did they come to you?
You know what? They're a really interesting company because a lot of the people worked at IFC, actually.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so a lot of the people were from the development team over there at IFC, and so I had relationships with all of them. And they, came to me and just said, hey, we really want to work on you with the show. And when it came time to pitch Bajillion, we went out and pitched it everywhere, to all these places.
Sure.
And CISO stepped up and said, we want to do 2 seasons of this show. We want to make 16 episodes. Instead of every other place was saying we want to make a pilot or we want to make a 10-minute pilot presentation.
They were all in.
They were all in, so they paid for 2 seasons of the show. And
that's great.
It was really good because if we would have had to do a pilot, I don't think we would have ended up making the show because
really
I don't know quite how you pilot that show. We made the first episode and because we were shooting it along with other episodes, we got to try things and figure it out and sort of like start and stop and
rotate stuff in and out.
Yeah, and because we finished the pilot early on in the air order, and then we figured out, we need to add more stuff to it. We were still shooting, so we just got to add,
that's great.
So if we had just been in a traditional pilot situation, we would have turned it in the way it was and said, well, if we were to do it again, we could add all this stuff, and then, So it's a really good situation, especially for comedy, to not pilot comedies.
Absolutely.
And just, like, give an order, but it takes a lot of blind faith on the part of the buyer.
Yeah.
But luckily we had, Tom and Ben and me there in order to sort of guarantee it and go, this is going to be funny. We'll step in and make sure that, and I was there for all of the editing and
great.
So it really it was a great leap of faith from them, and that's what they kind of prefer to do is if they like a show, they'll just order it,
Yeah,
so they ordered 6 episodes of Take My Wife and
And what is Take My Wife? I know it's Cameron Esposito.
Yeah, Take My Wife is it's sort of like a Louis type of show, a fictionalized show about 2 comedians, 2 real comedians, Cameron Esposito and Rhea Butcher, who are married in real life, and it's just kind of them being like newish comedians who are dealing with the fact that their relationship is getting serious. The very first scene of the first episode shows them on their honeymoon, and then it flashes back to several months earlier when they just had kind of started living together and started getting serious about each other.
Oh, that's fun.
And so yeah, and then it just kind of deals with like everything that they have to deal with in comedy, you know, be it, you know, kind of sexist club owners or, you know, opening for a bigger comedian and bombing. And so it's a really interesting show, and those guys have a really unique voice, and I think it's like a type of show that isn't on TV or anywhere right now, where it really just deals with the realities of two women who are in love and about to get married, you know, which you don't really see on TV all that much.
No, yeah, but hopefully we'll see more of it, which will be great.
Exactly.
That's awesome. All right, well, thank you, Scott Aukerman, everybody. This has been
my
great.
pleasure, yeah.
Billion Dollar Properties and Take My Wife are both available on CISO. Take My Wife comes out in a few weeks.
Yeah, in
CISO.
August 14th-ish.
Fair enough. Billion Dollar Properties you can get right now on CISO.com. Of course, Comedy Bang Bang returns to IFC in October. And if you're in Australia, tickettech.com.au. Get your tickets for the Comedy Bang Bang live tour. And if you're down in San Diego, say hi to this guy. He's going to be
come
here.
on, I'll be around.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So we will see you right back here tomorrow at 11 for another Stream Coco. Thank you, guys.
Thank
See you
you.
tomorrow. Bye.